Next Generation Combat 5. My name is Chris Hookster. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here to the Phoenix Center for this afternoon's event of boxing and kickboxing action. Well, we're about to get things underway here with the preliminary card. We'll bring out your first fighter for this contest. It is three minutes of amateur boxing rules. London, would you please welcome your first contestant, representing Lloyd Heavens Boxing Academy, Enzo Manafra. And London, would you please make some noise for his opponent, representing KO Next Generation Gym, Tyrell Howell. London, how about a kick it off the prelims, Tyrell Howell and Enzo Manafra.
So a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Next Generation Combat 5. Chris Hookster here on the call alongside my broadcast partner, as always, Malcolm Martin. We are kicking things off here in the prelims tonight in London. 3 3-minute rounds, boxing, amateur rules. In the blue corner, Enzo Manafra, representing Lloyd Heavens Boxing Academy, while the 12-ounce gloves are on. His opponent this evening, representing KO Next Generation, Tyrell Howell. Awesome atmosphere. Great to start it with these two young, hungry guys.
Yeah, I love the mix here at Next Generation Combat. We're starting with boxing, we're moving up the way through, and you can already see from the stances of these two young men, Chris, very well schooled, and that's one of the things we've always seen at Next Generation Combat, the levels of ability right from the novices through to the pros.
Nice head movement there out of the corner. Good pivot there from Tyrell Howell. Howell backing off. Manafra walking forward in that southpaw stance.
Well, that's the thing. Their styles contrast nicely. Manafra, a real front foot fighter, as you can see, rolls his head, walks in, and you can see Tyrell Howell is your traditional counterpuncher. He's waiting for Manafra to initiate and then respond, and that sets up a perfect balance and rhythm to the back, Chris.
Working the body again.
But you could see there how the way he stepped off that centre line, turned his man and then countered. That's going to set up these 3 rounds. You've got Manafra, when he gets in, must maximise his work. Howell's job is to keep him at range, keep him having to reset what he picks him off on the counter. So at the moment, I don't know about you, I think it's nicely balanced between the two styles.
Yeah, very difficult round to score right now in my mind. Howell a little bit maybe up on the points. He's seemingly punching a little bit longer. Manafra, it would seem to me, wants to be in tight. But every single time Howell gets put in the corner, he masterfully covers and then gets back to center ring. Good movements from both guys, though, so far. Competitive first.
You're right, Chris. And I said this is what the judges are looking for, whether Manafra, with his aggression, gets through with shots like that, which he did with that final left, or whether Howell blocks most of them, and although he seems to be throwing less, is scoring more accurately. But at the moment, towards the end of the round, as you see Manafra stepping up the pace again, and in that 3-punch combination, that southpaw left landed. So you're right, it's beautifully balanced at the moment.
Well, if you just joined us here, prelims underway. Nice combination there. Going upstairs, finishing with the right hook to the body from Manafra. We are live on Fight as well as for free on our Facebook page. So let us know what you think. Hope you're enjoying the action so far from the Phoenix Center.
That's a nice shot to the body as well, Chris. The right to the body. And what I call that from Howell there was preemptive countering. We've seen he's a back foot fighter, but what you do, just as your opponent sets to come forward, you throw the punch already. So in effect, you are preemptive with your countering, and that was a beautiful body shot as a result.
Nice tie-up as well. Howell doing a really good job so far of knowing when to throw and when to back off further. Oh, that was a nice left, though. Good overhand left lands there from Manafra. He has landed several significant punches in this fight so far. It has not been one-way traffic.
Well, it was a bolo left to the slightly taller man. He knew where the head was going to be, and as you said, why it landed was he threw it with conviction. So one of the things I like about Manafra, when he comes forward, he does so with conviction, but by the same conviction, Tyrell Howell is so good at the counter-punching. It's a really nice first round, Chris.
Well, 3 minutes in the books, folks, and certainly lots of back and forth action here. Two youngsters, Howell and Manafra, really putting on a show. And in my mind, Malcolm, there was so much control from the outset and patience.
Where the combinations were being thrown, he did only land cleanly, maybe with one of those shots. But it'd be interesting, we've still got 2 rounds. This is anybody's still.
So 2 of 3 here. And noticeably pushing the pace here is Manafra. He's got a talking to from his corner. Both guys just seem as fresh as they were when they made the walk to the ring. But so far from me, Manafra off to a really gutsy start here, Malcolm.
Well, this is his style, as I said, front foot coming forward. And as I mentioned at the end of the first round, he got his success. When you do that with conviction, he's rolling and throwing at the same time now and pushing forward. And when he decides to close that gap, he decides to work fast as well. Here he goes again. But now, what I love about this bout is you've now got Howell readjusting so that when that first punch comes, you see the way he turned off that center line to force Manafra to turn and set again. They're both adjusting, which is something we like to see across many commentaries we've done together, Chris, when you see fighters actually do have a plan B and C.
And then they've got the cardio as well to back it up. That's the thing. You can obviously have a game plan or a strategy, but you need to be able to have those physical attributes to be able to shift gears in a fight. And for me, both guys have got that. Nice stutter step there from Tyrell Howell. Howell looking to throw punches again. Manafra backs him into the corner. Can he keep him here? Howell circling to the left. Again, caught in the corner. This has been a great round so far, an aggressive round for Enzo Manafra.
Well, what he did subtly there twice, which frustrated Howell, was you see the way he took that little step right. He knew that the left-hand side was where Tyrell Howell was going to slip out. So he just readjusted. He didn't this time, and that's where Howell got free. But twice previously, he adjusted beautifully to keep Howell in that pocket, in that corner. And this is what I said about the chess match element of this. They're both readjusting on the spot, Chris.
So as the second round continues here, it has been extremely high-tempo work as Enzo Manafra pushes the pace. Still from that southpaw stance, good coverage, working the body. And Tyrell Howell, you talk about a plan B here, Malcolm. He has got to re-get that range. He's got to work back on the outside, punch long, do not allow the shorter, powerful stock here. Enzo Manafra on the inside. That's a good jab. Nice right cross there from Tyrell Howell.
I agree with you, Chris. At the end of the day, Howell's got to do that more often. They've got specific game plans. We've seen that clearly. They're adapting them, they're refining them, but they've got the game plans. And whoever executes that in a better way will win the bout. And at the moment here in the second round, I'm erring towards Manafra. His game plan is working. When he comes forward fast. He's found ways to keep Howell in the pocket and find ways to keep him like this in the corner. And Howell, as you said rightly, needs to adjust once more because Manafra's looking good in this second round.
It's been a high output fight.
And that output might be all the judges need here in the second, because I think for the first time in the bout, Tyrell Howell is feeling the pace that Enzo Manafra is setting.
I completely agree. He had a nice 1-2 there. Nice shifting right cross there from Tyrell Howell. He has landed, he has connected, but has it been enough given what we saw in the level of output from Enzo Manafra? I think that was Manafra's round.
I agree with you, Chris, and you've hit the lovely contradiction of this bout.
We go to 3 of 3, and I really have to agree with you, Mal. The key difference was the strategy of Manafra trapping Tyrell Howell, getting him to engage at close range in the pocket like this. And you know what? If he's got to take a short right, if he's got to eat a punch, one that doesn't get completely extended from Tyrell Howell, that seems to be okay. And for me, that's been working so far. I know that Howell, right now, looking at this fight, must realize this. He's got to get that footwork going and get back to that jab and that cross.
Well, one of the problems for Howell is, and you know, Chris, once you're in that ring and you've done the first minute or so, you have an idea of the power you're up against, of the strength you're up against. And I think Enzo Manafra is happy to take those punches. So Terrell is not a concussive puncher per se. It's like a lot of great fighters that it's the sheer volume of shots that land in cleanly. But what Manafra's done well is willing to take one shot so that Howell can't land those others cleanly because he's all over him. And I think of the two strategies, Manafra, the stubborn style, which is great to watch as well, is causing Terrell Howell problems. You can see he's a silky boxer. You can see he's got the great movement. But Manafra's saying, can you do that for 3 minutes of each and every single round, just like this?
And sometimes the key to a great boxer is to make it a messy fight.
Fighter, boxer, boxer, fighter, and Manafra is fighting the boxer, and you can see it's causing Terrell Howell problems. And his expression hasn't changed. As I said to you, I honestly agree. If there were 2 more rounds of this, you'd see Manafra just the same, pushing forward, throwing these combinations, and he's beginning to wear Terrell down in this round, Chris.
Deep breaths here from Terrell Howell. Chris Batchelder looking very closely here. Will we see a count? Good coverage there from Howell, but that is not always enough in the amateur ranks.
He timed that response literally just right, Chris. You were right. Chris Batchelder was literally a split second away from stepping in when Terrell threw that first punch back, saying, I'm defending myself intelligently. But it's a big round for me from Manafra. However, the judges officially judge round 1 and 2. Round 3, I think, is a no-brainer for everyone. The sheer pace and relentless nature of Manafra's work. And he's still at it, Chris. He's still at it.
4 punches to the body. Enzo Manafra plodding onwards, and this would seem to be the longest 3 minutes of this fight so far for Terrell Howell.
What I love about Manafra, he's a throwback, isn't he, Chris? To the days of, we're in here to fight, son. I've come here to fight, have you? And the body shots and the way he pushes forward. Look, he stays in the pocket. This suits him, this style of fight. And as you said, I love your term, messy. He likes it like that, and he's winning this round because of it. I've loved the strategies of both men in this bout. It's a great way to open the show. I mean, what a lovely boxing bout, and it epitomises everything we say about this show. In terms of skill levels, novices, preliminaries, it doesn't matter. You get a quality bout, and we've had it again here.
And Terrell Howell shakes his head, but you know what? He's going to walk away from this one, I think, having learned something. I had him up in that first round. I thought he edged it. It was a close, competitive round, but as you alluded to, he landed more volume, despite a couple of power shots from Manafra. But the way that Manafra came back and shifted gears into the second, here into the third, we just saw this pace. Here, I think probably the closest point, at least up until that moment where he got away from the ropes, where Chris Batchelder was close to getting a count, but good busy work, enough defensive coverage from Terrell Howell to survive this one. Manafra did not get the stoppage, but I think he's probably going to be able to just edge this one on points. Now, how do you see it?
Well, Chris, for me, it all depends on how they score round 2. Round 2 now becomes vital on the judges' scorecards to see who gets this bout.
Martial arts. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3 judges see the contest. A unanimous decision, scoring the bout 29-28 in favor of your boxer from the blue corner, representing Lloyd Heaven's Boxing Academy.